Yes, everybody, welcome back to a brand new video, and today we're going to be talking about Wolves completing the signing of West Ham defender Craig Dawson. It's another signing for Wolves this January, and hopefully it's not the end of the transfer madness. We've got about a week left, just over a week left now of the transfer window. We're hoping that we can maybe see one or two more players come in, but obviously we'll keep you updated on that one. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below on the transfer. But yeah, Craig Dawson, it's a player that Wolves have obviously searched for and tried to sign for a long while. We go back to the summer window where Wolves were extremely close to bringing him in towards the end of the window, although unfortunately missed out because West Ham didn't get the signing they wanted to bring in. So we've had to wait until January. Wolves have reignited the move about a week or so ago, and obviously managed to bring Craig Dawson in. Of course, it was quite interesting last weekend because it was just over a week ago when Wolves put the initial bid in, right before Wolves were playing West Ham United at Molineux, and David Moyes pretty much said we haven't accepted or rejected it, but he was pretty disappointed that Wolves have put in the offer when they did. Talks have continued obviously this week, and West Ham then tried to play us at our own game, stalled the talks a little bit, so it missed out on the midday deadline on Friday, so he missed out on this weekend's game against Manchester City. But he is official. It was announced yesterday morning before the Manchester City game, a little bit like the Sarabia signing. Obviously that was announced just before the Liverpool game as well. So he wasn't in the squad for City. We've got a couple of weeks break now, so it will give Lopetegui a chance to sort of get him in training and bed him in. Of course, the bonuses for Wolves are that he's homegrown. I think that was a big thing that people were looking at and kept asking me about as well. The sort of foreign player rule, and we needed more homegrown players, and obviously it adds much needed Premier League experience, as well as Mario Lemina, somebody that is a little bit older, somebody that is experienced and that has played in the Premier League for many, many years. Of course, he did used to play for West Bromwich Albion as well. Had a little stint at Watford and, of course, at West Ham, where he's done extremely well. Was pretty much close to being ever-present for them last season. Played a huge amount of games in a fairly successful Europa League campaign for West Ham United. And Craig Dawson was even named in the Europa League Team of the Year last year for West Ham United alongside Declan Rice. So he had a very good campaign last year, and it will be interesting to see where and how he fits into this Wolves setup, because Kilman and Collins at the moment haven't looked fantastic together, let's be brutally honest, but I'll be intrigued to see who Lopetegui drops, if anybody, to bring Craig Dawson in, or whether it's going to be something that Craig Dawson is just a backup for these players. I don't know. Of course, one of the big factors for Craig Dawson moving to Wolves is so he's closer to his family, who lives sort of the Midlands and Manchester area, I believe. So that was a big plus for him, and that's why he wanted to push the move through. The fee is said to be around £3.3 million, which is a decent fee, pretty risk-free as well. I think back in the summer we were looking to pay around £5 million for him, so it's a little bit lower than that amount as well. But we do also have the West Ham perspective on the signing. Looking, if you go onto Twitter, social media or whatever, and look at the West Ham announcement of them letting Craig Dawson go, a lot of disappointed West Ham United fans. Some people even disappointed that he didn't get more of a send-off as well from the club. But we've got the thoughts of Charlie from Hammers Chat, who gives us some insight on Craig Dawson, what we can expect, and the reaction from the West Ham fan base.
Hello, Wolves fans, and Craig Dawson. Just take care of him, because he's special to us, okay? He's a cult hero at West Ham. He has gone from being a pariah when he first turned up, maybe not a pariah, but certainly someone people were not happy that we signed at all, to becoming one of the favourites. So much so that when he decided he wanted to leave the club because he wanted to move back up to the Midlands where his family live, which makes sense, everyone was like, yep, fair enough, you've given everything you possibly could, go ahead. There wasn't a single piece of anger, there was just sadness that it was done. Because when he first signed, to when he left, that journey has been insane. And I've never really seen it properly like this. There's only been a few times where people want to leave and the blessing has been given in that sense. And I think it's important to understand that, because when he first joined, it was on a season-long loan with a view to buy from Watford, and people were not happy about it. I remember we were doing videos on Hammers Chat talking about it, and the live chat was just fuming. It wasn't necessarily that he was the worst defender ever, although people didn't think he was good. It was that we were considering seriously a threat of relegation that season when he joined in the summer, and that here's a guy who, frankly, had been relegated with his last two Premier League teams. His last two stints in the Premier League ended in relegation with Watford and with West Brom. And given that summer we'd barely signed anyone, I think by that point we'd only signed Sue Fowler at right back, there was a serious concern that was going to go awfully. Started the season as fourth choice behind Ogbonna, Diop and Balbuena, and ended it as one of our most consistent and reliable centre-backs. People had gone the full hog already, not quite to God's status that he is at now, but people had gone the full hog already. He had huge defensive displays. He was scoring goals for fun from corners. I mean, you want to talk about getting the best out of Craig Dawson, just put him in the box at a corner, lob it in there. He'll probably get it on top. He's very good. That thing you hear about West Ham a lot about, they're really good from set piece. Craig Dawson is really good at set pieces. We've got a couple of others like Thomas Tuchel, but Craig Dawson. In fact, this season where he hasn't played as much, and when games where he hasn't played as much, we've basically been not effective from corners whatsoever, which shows you the difference he makes in those sort of scenarios. And notably in that first season, an incident with Che Adams, in which I can only describe as Craig Dawson put his laces directly through his head, that sort of started the train to liking him. Look up Craig Dawson and Che Adams, you'll see what I'm talking about. We finished sixth that season. We got Europa League. It was a huge season for us, and he was seen as one of the main parts of it. But last season was massive. That is the big moment, he still didn't start first. It was Ogbonna and Zuma at first. Zulu, who just came in for 25 million. And the second Ogbonna got this big season-long injury near the beginning, Dawson was the person who stepped in, and he never left. And to this point, he really has never left. If he's been fit, he's basically been starting. I mean, he ended last season with the fourth most appearances in the squad. I think he was far and away ahead of any other goalkeepers and defenders in that sense. He was equal to Declan Rice in terms of appearances, which gives you some sort of level. And that Europa League run, I mean, it showed us how good he could be. I mean, the game against Lyon in quarterfinals, we beat them 3-0 away, and he got man of the match, and he was outstanding in that game. He scored an incredible goal. His defending in that game was next level. He was spraying long balls from the back like a quarterback. He has been incredible in that run, and he was so good. Prime Bobby Moore, if I want to overplay it slightly. But just to give you some idea, when the Europa League team of the season came out at the end of it, he was in it. There were two West Ham players in the official Europa League team of the season. It was Declan Rice and it was big Craig Dawson. That's how good he was. He's someone who, when you are backs against the wall, you need someone to rely on to do the tackles, to do everything right. He is the guy to do it. He's one of our most reliable centre-backs in that sense. His long balls are really, really good. Like long balls spraying from the back. His short passing, not great. And this season, when we tried to move to a little bit more of that, he's flopped a little bit. But those long ball passing he's one of the best in our squad, comfortably at that. He's absolutely lethal from corners and set pieces. Get him in the box and he will score for you in that sense. And he never gives less than 100%. Even now, when he is wanted to leave, he is handed in a transfer request. He wants to leave. He wants to go back to where his family are, which is totally understandable. Obviously, every time he's played, he's basically died for the shirt. No one would ever accuse him of giving anything less, because he just doesn't. He has gone from someone who people actively were angry we wanted to sign or did sign, to having the nickname Ballon Dawson. I mean, could you get a better nickname than that? Ballon Dawson. Treat him well, because he is a special man, and we all hold him very dear in our hearts. You're getting a very, very good centre-back for the price you're getting. Homegrown as well, which obviously helps. And listen, get him spraying those balls out wide. Get him spraying those balls to like Adama and that running up the way. It'd be good. It'd be good. It'd be good. Enjoy him, because my God, we did. Ballon Dawson. What a man. What a man.
So big thanks to Charlie. I'll make sure I leave a link to the Hammers Chat channel in the description down below. But Craig Dawson is another signing for Julian Lopetegui. Like I said, a little bit of a break now whilst we miss out on the FA Cup action next weekend. But against Liverpool, could we see Craig Dawson get his debut? Some much needed experience for Wolves, adding another leader into the dressing room as well. And one thing that Matt Hobbs had said is now that this signing allows Gerson Mosquera to go out on loan as well, which again is much needed. Wolves looked to do that during the summer and were unable to do that. So Mosquera, you would assume in the next week or so, will be going out on loan as well. So that's sort of the domino effect of this signing. But we'll keep you up to date, guys, on the transfers. Fingers crossed we see another couple of players. João Gomez, let's hope we see that one move forward a little bit more this week. And will Wolves sign a striker? Let's wait and see. Be sure to hit the like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're close to 15,000 subscribers now. And I'll see you all next time.